Hello, this is sports handicapper Ian Cameron for Sportsbook Review, and today we're going to look at MLB overnight lines for the games taking place on Sunday, May the 1st. Yes, that's right, May. We're into May already. Time flies by, but we're going to take a look at the Sunday games, May 1st. Unfortunately, we have to record these videos earlier in the day on the weekend, so we don't have any overnight lines posted yet for the games on Sunday, May 1st, but that's not going to stop us from taking a look ahead and seeing what value may lie in some of these, where the value may lie in some of these matchups. We're going to start with Miami taking on Milwaukee in a Sunday afternoon matchup. It'll be Tom Kohler pitching for the Marlins against Willie Peralta for the Brewers, and as far as I'm concerned, these are two bet against pitchers in this matchup. Tom Kohler, a guy that hasn't impressed me this season. Very mediocre numbers overall, 4.5 ERA, 12 runs on 22 hits and 20 innings of work, 11 walks, 15 strikeouts. That's not a great ratio. He has labored through pretty much every start he's had so far, 2 against Washington, Atlanta, and then the LA Dodgers in his last start where he only lasted 5 innings. So Tom Kohler, not a guy right now that has impressed me a whole lot for this Miami Marlins team, but Willie Peralta to me has been brutal. He has been absolutely awful. 7.40 ERA for Peralta in 5 starts, 22 runs on 32 hits and 24.1 innings of work, 12 walks, 18 strikeouts. The gopher ball has been a big problem for him. He's allowed 4 home runs as well, 1.81 whip. I mean, the numbers are just ugly across the board for Willie Peralta. So the bottom line is here, 2 bet against pitchers. 2 teams that offensively, they've been in some decent form. You look at Miami, they're actually 6-2 to the over in their last 8 games. Milwaukee, they've also been trending over the total as well, with a 7-2-1 rather, over the total mark in their last 10 games. So these are 2 teams that have been playing higher scoring games, and don't forget, neither of these bullpens is particularly good, especially Milwaukee. So I think we see runs in bunches in this game. It's always a little bit tricky in these getaway day games on a Sunday. You sometimes get situations where there's key bats out of the lineup for rest purposes on the Sunday slate, so you want to check the starting lineups. But as long as there isn't a ton of key players and personnel out of the lineup for either team, I'd look definitely toward the over in that particular matchup. Another interesting game taking place Sunday. We've got the Blue Jays and Rays. Marcus Stroman versus Jake Odorizzi. Your probable pitching matchup there should be a good one. I'd look for this game to go under the total here. 2 pretty good pitchers on the mound. The Jays offense, as I've noted in previous videos, just not hitting like we're accustomed to seeing them hit, especially last season when they were the best offense in baseball. Marcus Stroman, I think, is going to have a pretty good outing here against Tampa Bay. He had a very good outing in the first time he faced them earlier this season. Back in the first series of the season, back in April, 3 runs allowed in 8 innings, so very good showing for Stroman. And Odorizzi, he faced Toronto once already, did pretty good, 2 runs allowed in 5.2 innings of work. And Odorizzi's coming off a pretty good outing as well against Baltimore, allowing just a single run in 5 innings of that start against the Orioles, a pretty good lineup. So these are 2 pitchers that I have pegged for some success here. Look toward that game, probably staying under the total. And we're going to wrap this video up, previewing the overnight lines for Sunday, April 1st, or Sunday, May 1st, rather, with Houston taking on Oakland. And the Houston Astros, boy, it's been a rough go of it for them. They have been scuffling big time, 2-8 in their last 10 games, just not playing very good baseball and not really living up to the expectations that everyone had of this team coming into the season. They're 7-16, a team that people thought would win the American League West Division here in 2016, and right now they're just not playing like it. The pitching has been abysmal, and the lineup has scuffled at times for this Houston team, but really to me it's their pitching that's really done them in and caused them the most trouble and problems here in the first month of the season. And Doug Fister, a guy that I've talked about many times as a bet against pitcher, a guy that really hasn't gotten back to the level he was at early in his career with Seattle, as well as when he was with Detroit last year with Washington. Bombarded he was by injuries, and then when he did come back off the DL, he didn't pitch any good and was relegated to bullpen duty with the Nationals. It was a terrible year for him last year, and he really hasn't regained any sort of form here with his new team, the Houston Astros. He's been hit hard. 5.56 ERA for Fister. in 4 starts, 11 walks, 11 strikeouts. That's a horrific ratio. You don't like seeing that. 23 hits allowed as well in those 22.2 innings. So big time struggles here for Doug Fister. He'll be taking on Oakland lefty Rich Hill, and boy, what a resurgence for this guy. I mean, this guy has been a journeyman pitcher for years in the major leagues. He all of a sudden lands in Oakland. And somehow he has totally transformed his pitching style and has done a really, really good job with this Oakland team. I mean, and it seems like there's not really much fluky about the way he's pitched. He has confounded most teams that he has faced so far this season. You look at his last 4 starts against Seattle, Kansas City, the Yankees, and Detroit, 4 runs or less allowed in all 4 of those starts. Look at the strikeout numbers as well. You know, just fantastic. I mean, this guy, look at 34 strikeouts. 34 strikeouts for Rich Hill in his last 4 starts. I mean, he is just getting a ton of swings and misses, which is a positive sign. You know, he's lowered the number of walks, which is really good to see. And most importantly, you know, Oakland is winning games with Rich Hill on the mound. I know Houston historically, this is a lineup that's done pretty well against lefties, but Rich Hill's been a very, very tough lefty right now to hit for opposing hitters. So I think Houston might be in tough. And remember, this Astros lineup, it's been a little bit spotty, a little bit erratic with their production here in the first month of the season. So I'm interested to see where the line comes out for that game. If it's cheap enough on the Athletics, I might be looking at taking a shot here with Rich Hill as he continues his resurgence here in 2016 and look toward the Oakland Athletics to pick up the win here in the series finale against the slumping Houston Astros. So that's going to be it for my look at MLB lines for Sunday, May the 1st, to wrap up the weekend. I'm sports handicapper Ian Cameron. As always, good luck to you. Hope you cash your bets. Enjoy the games, and good luck.